policing, man. You policing people's speech and shit. We already all know that shit, man. I bet they wouldn't let someone walk through with a MAGA hat. I bet they wouldn't. I know they're kicking journalists out and shit. Only real live feeds and shit are coming through our fucking independent media. Like people that are fucking on their live streams and shit. Because I suppose when you have guards at the barricades with the strap, I don't think many news outlets are going to be too wild to come on in that bitch. On another note, though, Antifa and Black Lives Matter are under a microscope in my eyes at this point. Especially like when Styles P, a rapper, was questioning where the money trails go, where they come from, how they start, and then he even points out that both groups are funded by the same person. It's on Twitter. You can look it up. I got it screenshotted, as a matter of fact, in case it ever disappears. But I think that shit is suspect. And like I've said before, Black lives do matter. I'm not going to sit and say all lives matter. Because I don't really believe all the people that are out there give a fuck. I think it's easy to care when there's a collective. Care on an individual level and then show me. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. But I'm going to have a whole nother episode about how I feel about this we're all in this together shtick and shit. That's not for now. That we're going to move on from that. But even when I see like rappers and shit point that shit out, and I see like underground rappers point out like shit like that, it's just like, okay, so these people do have a following, and they are like, they're pointing some shit out. You may not like it, but at least it's not just a vacuum type of a thought. Is how I'm trying to spin it. I think is because I think a lot of people think when you target Antifa or even Black Lives Matter that you're specifically going after like the activists. And I'm going after like the group collective of Antifa. Black Lives Matter, they're going to do their own thing. I don't really support generally what the masses would say, but I do believe police brutality is a problem. I believe that everyone gets killed at unreasonable rates by the police. I believe the police union is a fucked thing. I believe that the police need to be held to the same standards that we are. I believe they need to be, if they commit the crime, they need to do the time. I don't believe that they should have a thin blue line of, oh, well, we can get away with this if we do this. Nah, man, if y'all straight out here murdering people, you need to go to fucking prison for that shit, period. And yes, the 4 officers, they still need to go to prison. Derek Chauvin definitely needs to go to prison for murder. The other 3, they need to go to prison for accessory to murder. Not aiding and abetting, accessory to murder. You didn't get up. I don't care if you fucking asked, should we roll them over, all this shit. You did not get up. You did not stop what you were doing, even though you motherfuckers knew it was wrong. That's my opinion. And I think that's wrong for anybody. And I've seen so much pandering from white people. It's fucked up, man. Like, did none of you care beforehand? And now you just overly care? Like, what the fuck? You're shaving your heads. You're washing people's feet. You're blacking out your profile pictures. You got celebrities making apology videos. Like, at what point do you guys fucking stop apologizing? Because what that tells me is, you are all some racist fucks. If you're apologizing. Especially for something you didn't do. I'm not going to apologize for something I had nothing to do with. I'm not going to feel bad about my skin color. I'm not going to teach anybody that I know that there's a privilege. Unless they're fucking rich. But yet you're out here, you're pandering. Because I think it makes you feel better. Well, I hope it makes you feel better, but it makes a lot of people realize you just pander. You jump fucking from wagon to wagon to wagon. You're betting on whatever winning team, and that's not how that's supposed to work. You're supposed to have your beliefs. You're supposed to stand on them. Not that you can't fucking come up with a new opinion or find out a different belief and run with that, but you shouldn't jump from bandwagon to bandwagon to bandwagon to bandwagon to bandwagon. A good example, a good fucking example is Akash Singh on the Flagrant 2 podcast with Andrew Schultz, and Abba. Abba Atlas. Abba and Preach, they have a podcast and a YouTube channel. Andrew Schultz and Akash Singh are comedians, and they have their own things, and so is Abba. He's a comedian too. So they're doing this podcast, right? And Akash Singh made a fucking good example. What happens is when the protest starts to happen, there's one singular view, and that was police brutality. So let's focus on that. Well, then you end up with all these other groups like Antifa. Let me use Antifa as a good example. Antifa jumps on, and they're going to start adding fuck capitalism, fuck this, fuck fascism. Police brutality was the original idea. Now you got capitalism in there. You got fuck Nazis in there. Well, there's all their little things that they stand for, those are exit signs for people to get off. And that's not just one, that's all the groups that join in and start to push their narrative. And it happens. You can clearly see it. If you go down there and you look and you listen, you will see multiple groups protesting different shit under one banner. And that gives everybody, how Akash Singh said it was, it's like a highway. You have one point, that's your destination. That was police brutality. But you gave so many people exits to get off with all these other issues, people got off. Not that a whole bunch of people didn't stay on, but are the people that stayed on, are those really the people you want staying on? If I go into Minneapolis now, the place that I grew up, the streets that I walked on, they're fucking burnt. Gone. There's fucking metal fencing around everything. Looks like a fucking war zone. And then I know the manufacturing companies, they're going to leave the neighborhood. They're done. Seven Sigma's done. That was the manufacturing company that was next to the low-income housing apartment building that was burnt down. That fire set that business on fire and melted the siding, and all the house that was next to that building melted the entire side of their house. The Schooner Bar melted all their shit. Like, I understand that we're mad, but I do not think burning shit down is the way to go about it. You know how many people were fucking in the streets? Oh, we had the attention. But the minute shit started to burn down, people got off that train immediately. It happened. It happened so fast, people just didn't see it. Or they chose not to see it. And that's fucked. The celebrities and their apology videos, man, they're just afraid of fucking cancel culture. Same with the businesses that put up plywood and then 2 days later after the looting started, they put Black Lives Matter on it. It didn't matter when you put the fucking wood up though, did it? That shit's pandering. And believe you me, I got pictures of the first day, and then the third day, the second day, all of them. And businesses look a lot different going down the line. I'm not ever going to post them, but I got them. I could, but I'm not going to. And the anger that we all feel towards police brutality is beyond real. Nobody likes that shit unless you're a sadistic piece of shit that only obeys the law. And yeah, I'll say it. If that is your shtick in this, is you have to obey the law no matter what, you need a fucking to go read a book or some shit to break that idea, because that's a horrible idea to go through this life living, thinking that all you have to do is obey the law no matter what the police say. They're always right. Nah, fuck that shit, man. That's some fuck shit. And I'm not with it. I'm not gonna be with it. I've always said fuck 12. I didn't like the police when I was a kid. I didn't like them when I was a teen. I don't like them when they stop me now. I don't like them when they stop me now to ask me how the fuck I'm doing, because they stopped me 150 fucking times when I was a teenager and always fucking threw me on top of the fucking car, put me on the fucking curb, threw me in cuffs no matter what I was doing, fucking argued with me about fucking t-shirt colors. Yeah. I got my own stories. I got my own issues with the police, but that shit's anecdotal. But it happened. So I guess I could say it's my truth. I could speak my truth. I could speak my side. But I could also just yell, fuck 12, and mean that shit wholeheartedly. But I also realize not all cops are bad. Now, I think a lot of them are bad. I've yet to meet a good one. But like Jelly Roll said, I've also yet to meet a fucking good politician, too. The same politicians we've had in office for fucking 40 years are talking about reform now. They didn't reform shit over the last 40 years. And if they did it into their favor. And that's on conservatives and Democrats' side. On both of their fucking sides. We've put some vile fucking creatures into office. I'm not talking about Obama or Trump. I don't really think the president really can be all that vile of a creature. Why? Because they only get 4 to 8 years to do whatever. There's no term limits on the Senate and fucking Congress. So they just be staying. And there's a reason that all the cities that were being rioted and looted and all that shit, there's a reason that those motherfuckers that was happening. They're all democratically ran. Not that there wasn't people that didn't come in from the rural areas to help protest, because I promise you they did. I've seen a lot of videos of kids from Blaine getting pulled off rooftops over in South Minneapolis talking about because they were going to try to pull some loot and they're burning some shit down that had nothing to get burned down. There's plenty of videos of that shit. So people from out of the actual city came in. But I promise you, people in the country hate police brutality as much as the people in the city do, man. People don't like the fucking sheriffs. The fuck? This ain't a TV show. This ain't Hollywood where they like one or the other. Nah, man. If you got a badge, there's a power struggle in every fucking precinct, man. There's power-hungry motherfuckers every day. But there's one thing I'm gonna get into. Like I said, this is gonna be kind of a long one, man. I might have to cut this bitch into a part 2, you know what I'm saying? Ha! Yeah, I'm gonna cut this into a part 2. We'll be right back. Be right back with Petra Fucker. Peace.